Private lending on investment real estate is our favorite business model. And trust me, we've been through a few of them. We're going to break down why on this podcast.
Welcome to the Private Lenders Podcast with your host from Hard Money Bankers, Jason Valen and Chris Haddon. This podcast is sponsored by hardmoneymastermind.com.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the show. If you haven't done so already, go take a look at lendrsoftware.com, lender software, lendrsoftware.com, quickly becoming the most popular software in the private lending industry. Go check it out and mention this podcast for a discount. All right, this is going to be a fun one. We have not talked about the specifics of what we're going to do and what each of us is going to say. I'm sure we have a number of reasons why we like the business model of private lending so much. We're going to overlap on a few, I'm sure, but let's get it rolling. Let's get it rolling. You start.
Well, whoever goes first is going to have one that is going to, like, if I go first, which I'm going to, I'm going to have one of your favorites, but that's okay because I think we have a lot of them.
That is okay. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite part of this business is it being an investment vehicle. I love that it's an investment vehicle. I love that I can deploy my own capital into deals to make a high rate of return. We always had the mentality that like we would never do a loan ever in this business, that we wouldn't fund ourselves or fund with, parents, grandparents, closest cherished capital ever. And when we started, we didn't have any of our own capital to start with. And, it took time to accumulate capital where, both of us are heavily vested into deals, into lots and dozens of deals at any given time. And the investment vehicle is right. It's real. And I think that most lenders that are using institutional capital, they're using other sources of capital, not putting their own money into these deals, or overlooking the true business model of this being an actual investment vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, that probably is the best one, but there's lots of other ones. And also, I'm sure many people listening aren't yet in a position where they're deploying a good amount of their own money into deals. But yeah, that's a great one. And eventually we'll fund this entire portfolio. It'll take some time, but that is the long-term plan. Okay. All right. My first one is, even besides your own capital into deals, the equation of the work that goes into this business and the money that comes out is very good. Like putting X amount of hours, not that many, into doing one loan, and the money that comes out, $10,000 minimum, including your upfront fees plus your servicing fee over the term of the loan, is just a really good model. And we've been involved in some other ones, mainly in real estate. So like conventional mortgage lending, for example, it takes more time to do a regular mortgage loan and you get significantly less money. If you're looking at some other things we've been involved in, like flipping the house, you can make some great money flipping a house, especially if that's what you do full time. You have crews and everything else, but like just doing a one-off flip here and there, it is an absolute ton of work. And hopefully you make some good money. It is speculating though. You might make good money. You might make okay money. You might break even. Hopefully you don't lose, but it is possible. Another one, like wholesaling a property. Wholesaling can be pretty good, but there's a lot of cost that goes into it. Marketing costs, everything else. Like there's a lot of upfront stuff that happens before you get a contract and then assign it and get that money out. So I'm just rattling off a few different.
And there's no residual income to that either, though.
There's no residual income. That's a good point.
There's front end fees and back end fees on this, servicing fees, like income. Like there's a lot of different income sources in this business model.
Yeah. So that's the first one I'm going to throw out is the money model, as Hormozy would say, the money model of this business, the work that goes in and the money that comes out in all kinds of different ways is a great one.
Yeah. So my second one is actually kind of part of the first one too. So I'll say that, and then I'll skip to my real next one, but it's helping friends, family, business partners, deploy capital for high rates of return, just like our own capital. But like there's something fulfilling helping other people deploy their money into an investment, into a good, sound investment vehicle that you're comfortable with, that if you're structuring safe loans, you're helping investors deploy good capital. And on the other side of that, you're also helping real estate investors make money. Like doing these loans, it's not a one-sided transaction. It's a win-win. It's a win-win deal where you're deploying capital at high rates of return, hopefully high rates of return, safely. And on the other side, you're helping real estate investors make money by leveraging your capital in order to make money, to flip houses, to potentially buy rental properties, to do bridge loans on their commercial buildings where they couldn't get capital from banks. So there's real enjoyment and fulfillment on that win-win situation. So, anyways, that was kind of like 1A. That was kind of like 1 and 2 combined. But I'll go to my next one, which I think's I know this for a fact that a lot of people in our mastermind group agree with this, what I'm about to say. And I think the majority of the folks that are on the front lines and they're originating loans and they're structuring deals feel the same way, where they can be a deal junkie without having to do all the hard work. And what I mean by that is a lot of us are deal junkies and we like doing deals. We just like doing deals. Our personality type, we like doing deals. We like structuring deals. We like to use our creative brains and figure out how to structure these deals and set them up. And the best part about them is you don't have to do the hard work, which is actually flipping the house. You could structure the deal. You can kind of get your jollies by going to a property if you need to. It's like, hey, look at this property that I'm involved in, that I lent on or whatever. And you can get that deal junkie feeling without having to renovate the property or deal with the real estate agents on the selling side or, qualifying buyers when you have to go sell the property. Like when it's all said and done, you're just the lender on the transaction. So, we look at hundreds and thousands of deals every month. So it's a good business model. It's good to be the lender. Let's just put it that way. It's good to be the lender and being able to evaluate lots and lots of opportunities, figure out which ones you want to do and not have to do the heavy lifting and see through kind of all the hard work on these things.
It's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. My next one is I really like the day-to-day of this business. And that is, you could also call it a lifestyle business. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. It wasn't always this smooth because we started out just you and I, and we had to do everything. Like we were doing inspections in the morning, we were in the office in the afternoon, we were at RIA meetings at night. Startup time's different. Startup time is going to be heavy lifting in any kind of company, any kind of business model. Past startup time, it smooths out a little bit and gets more enjoyable. So we, as you can see, Jason's wearing a hoodie right now. I'm wearing some kind of vest. We're dressed casual. We're in our office where we've been in this particular office for a little over 10 years. And we come to the office every day. We do deals, new stuff that we're looking at. What are we going to fund? What do you like about this deal? We manage the outstanding portfolio. What's going on here? Help out our team with whatever they need, the originators to back office staff and accounting and everything else. Keep an eye on the money and all of that. It's enjoyable. We market our business. We're making content like this right here. We're doing videos. We're doing social media type stuff, trying to bring in more loans, everything else, email broadcasts. And that is our work day for the most part. There's time to hit the gym. We like to play golf on Fridays when it's in season. And it's an enjoyable day to day, right? Like all the stuff I described is pretty damn cool. And I think a lot of other people, especially in the mastermind group, as we've seen them come along in the business and get past year 1, year 2, grow up, get to scale, get an awesome team with them. It gets to be a very, very enjoyable lifestyle.
Yeah. And it takes time to do that, just like any other business, right? Like it doesn't happen overnight. When you're starting out, everything, I got to build, I got to do this, I got to build that and things and things like that. Another thing that I do enjoy about this business compared to a lot of other businesses is that it is kind of a B2B business where you're talking to business owners, real estate investors, not homeowners. I've been in the mortgage world. I've been in the residential real estate world before. And there you're typically selling houses to homeowners. You're financing homeowners where there's an emotional kind of setup that there's no emotions set up most of these deals. Now, obviously, if you're dealing with unsophisticated real estate investors that don't know what they're doing, you're going to have challenges. And that's why, the 4 C's of underwriting, collateral being the most important, and then character, capacity, and credit in that order. Characteristics of the borrower are so important because if you're not dealing with somebody who's sophisticated, they're just going to make bad decisions or the wrong decisions And debt will kill a project very, very quickly. If you look at the numbers on a 13% interest rate and then maybe even increase that to a default interest rate, it doesn't matter how well you buy a property, like debt will eat up the equity of a property over time. So point being is, when you deal with sophisticated business owners and real estate investors, it's good to talk to people like that. They're not emotionally attached to the deal usually. It's, hey, this is a business transaction for them. And that's who you get to talk to every day. If I had to talk to, homeowners that were in dire need of capital all the time, like it would just be miserable. And, if a deal fell through and, they lost their home, they lost something, like that is not a comfortable spot to be in. When you're dealing with real estate investors, it's easier. It's a business transaction. It's just so much more enjoyable to work with sophisticated business owners.
B2B, that's a very, very good point. Okay, my next one, I'm going to go with, I like being in the business of private capital in dealing with high net worth individuals. Since the beginning, it's been a very, very enjoyable part of this business to work with high net worth, successful people who have accumulated a good amount of capital to put into these deals and forming relationships and carrying these relationships with them over years, right? And learning what you can from them. They've all been successful in different kinds of business. What else are they investing in? What are they up to? What do they do for fun, right? Like some people in this area are, boat people. Annapolis, go on the water, boat type stuff. Some people are golfers. Some people are go out in the city for steaks and have a good time. And like there's fun to be had with these relationships, and also really cool stuff that you can learn and grow as a person and a business person. I think that being in the private capital business is a great aspect of this model.
Yeah. And potentially, having access to capital for other things, ventures, deals.
Yeah.
That's not, a bad cherry on top as well. If you want to go down that road, we try to stay in our lane on the majority of our projects. Our lanes worked, again, slow and steady wins the race. It's taken us a long time to build a foundation and a big portfolio. And, we want to build it the right way. So if drastic measures happen, if market changes, things like that, it doesn't just, you don't go all or nothing. Like we've never been like the all or nothing. We've just been like slow and steady wins the race. And we try to hit singles every day. And like we try to do good loans to good real estate investors every day. And if you do that, this will be a very satisfying business. If you try to scale your business year one from 0 to 10 million, you are going to run into problems very, very quickly, right? And you're not going to realize what problems you had until that money's deployed and you think you all have it fit, and then you think you have it all figured out, and you're going to get smacked in the teeth without you even realizing it, because defaults are going to happen. And believe us when we tell you that every default ends up being significantly more work than you think, and effectively 10, 20 times the amount of work as one performing loan anyways took you. And as you grow this portfolio, every deal is the same. It's a widget over and over and over. And you can put a new deal in, another deal in, another deal in, another deal in. And you got to follow the model. You got to go the right way. You got to spend a lot of time. Chris and I both enjoy marketing. That's one of the things we like in business, is doing marketing. And that's why we do marketing every day. And that is the lifeblood of a private lending business. If you are marketing for good opportunities every day and you're talking to real sophisticated business owners, your life will be very, very, very easy, because guess what? Good deals happen when they perform. That means you're able to raise capital behind that. Your capital investors are happy. Your capital investors continue to reinvest with you and put more capital into deals. And it is a very fulfilling cycle over and over and over, but it starts with a good deal.
All right. How many more do you have? I could do one more. I could do two.
You can do them both. Go ahead.
Okay.
I got all my fulfillment out.
Okay. Okay. One is that I like being in a business where we can clearly stand out as being better than the competition.
Dang, good ones.
It's a good one. So what I mean by that is a lot of businesses are kind of commoditized in terms of price and everything else. And I think we all fall into that on some level. But in terms of our execution versus the competition, we're just so much better. And it's easy to be that.
Yeah.
Real estate lenders are notorious for sucking at the business of real estate lending. And that applies to regular conventional residential mortgage stuff, commercial loans, even hard money loans. Just not being good at executing on their own part of the transaction, missing closing dates, asking for documents 2 and 3 times, the same stuff. Doing draws slowly, for example. Like real estate lenders in general are just notorious for being bad to work with and a pain in the ass and like a hindrance to the whole transaction. And when we can stand out as being efficient and closing on time, not asking for unnecessary stuff, getting draws done, getting those 5-star Google reviews, like it's really enjoyable just to be better than most of the competition in this game.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And there's something to be said about that. And how many borrowers have we helped over the years that, originally came to us? And this is a good learning lesson for a lot of lenders, hard money or private money lenders, who get discouraged when a borrower comes to them and they're like, yeah, I was hoping to put up less money. I didn't want to put that much money down, or I was hoping the rates were going to be a little bit cheaper. And you say, listen, no problem. I'm always here for you. Let me know if I can help you in the future. And then a month later, they come back and be like, this lender lied to me, or this lender completely crapped the bed, or this lender backed out on me the day of closing. I'm going to lose my deposit. I really screwed up, type of thing. And they come back to you and they're like, hey, can you still close under those terms? It's like, sure, no problem. Let me drop everything. Let me get everything together for you and we'll take care of you and we'll get this done. There's a lot of fulfillment in that, right? And that when that happens, that borrower's with you for life, right? They're happy that they did this, and they apologize. They should have used you at the beginning, because bet on yourself in this business. If you're raising capital and you control your own capital and you're writing good loans, because keep in mind, if you're writing bad loans, it's only a matter of time since you're hurting everybody, not just hurting yourself. You're hurting all the borrowers, your capital investors, the local real estate investors, because you're gonna be out of business if you're writing bad loans. So if you're writing good loans over and over and over and you're in business, you're helping all of these people over and over and over. And there's a lot of fulfillment in being able to handle that, because like Chris said, the competition sucks. They suck. I know what our competition is out there locally. Most of them cannot do what they say. And so be it. It's just a matter of time until that borrower cycles right back to us. And there's been a lot of times and a lot of years that have gone by where borrowers have been able to get cheaper capital, highest leverage capital, and that's fine. But I've been through enough cycles, and I know that those borrowers eventually will come back when they need you, and they will need you, and you'll be there to do the deals and the way you want to do them.
All right, everyone, that is the pod for today. I hope you are enjoying this business model as much as we are. If you ever considered working with us directly, we're going to have a couple times this year, a couple lenders come into our office and work with us directly for a 2-day session. To learn more, talk to our team, just go to hardmoneymastermind.com, click on live events, talk to Dave, our program director, and we hope to meet you in person. See you next time here on the podcast.
Thank you for joining us on this Private Lenders Podcast episode. Please note that opinions stated by all the speakers on this show are only opinions and not legal, financial, or accounting advice. Please make sure to always check with your own legal, financial, and accounting professionals. If you enjoyed this episode of the Private Lenders Podcast, we would appreciate it if you could spread the word. Make sure to check out hardmoneymastermind.com, the #1 community for all private and hard money lenders.